promoting it, okay.
I picked up on that over the months and years. But I never did
So many steps.
memorize that long speech people had to say.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we're opening the Community Housing Committee for July 14, 2025. My name's Drew Kraus. I'm subbing in for the absent chair. Let's start with a roll call vote to call the meeting to order. Okay. Pam Sonkors,
Here.
Greg Wheeler,
Here.
Drew Kraus here.
Lee Hamilton here.
Deirdre Gaquin here.
Okay, we have a quorum, so the meeting has been called to order. And the first topic on the agenda are the minutes of the June 9th, 2025 meeting. There might be a couple of typos or something in here. Did you notice?
There, okay.
A couple of goof-ups, maybe, possibly?
I noticed a couple of typos, but first, I also, on the approval of the earlier minutes, I don't know why I approved the minutes for January 21st, because I wasn't on the committee then, so you have to take my name off that first one.
And I don't think I was at the June 9th meeting.
So you want to be marked as abstaining from the June 20?
I think that's what you do. That's what you do, because I wasn't present to be at the 21st.
You weren't a member yet.
I wasn't a member yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't think I was at the June 9th meeting.
so you think your name is there in error? No, it says members absent Lee Hamilton here,
Okay.
so that is correct.
Members
then,
absent,
Lee.
all right,
Yeah.
got it, yeah.
So that's correct.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
And Greg, did you want to call attention to
Yeah, there was a
something?
typo in the My Home Consortium notes.
Okay,
The home program was awarded, it should be $408,651, not 08651.
And I noticed that. I didn't know what the number was yet.
Awarded 408?
Yep.
And there's a 2026 typo 2 lines down from that. And then my name is slightly misspelled at the bottom. It's DEI.
I would add, too, if you want to give me that missing $400,000, I'm not, I don't have a problem taking it, yeah.
So 408, 48963 is correct?
408651 for fiscal year 2025, and the number for fiscal year 2000, the 2006 is wrong too. 2026, sorry, but that number is correct.
Oh, and there's an extra 0 in 26.
Yeah. Cellular memory. And
Typos are
it's
so
it's
easy.
so weird because of 2026, I'm seeing a lot of people doing that. I don't know what it is.
I wonder why.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but anyways, maybe, I don't know.
Now, maybe this is just me. Maybe you can, under committee assignments, starting on the bottom of the first page. So we go down, it comes to Drew Kraus, is a member of the Community Preservation Committee via the Yarmouth Housing Authority and will share agendas with the committee members who expressed interest in the Community Preservation Committee, who, where, John Barr, Greg Wheeler, and Pamela Sonkor. But what,
But I don't understand what that means,
I don't
because
understand that at all.
I'm the representative from this committee and the Community Preservation Committee.
That's kind of garbled.
Yeah, and I don't know what it means.
You want to just strike it?
We could strike it, yeah.
Yeah.
The meaning is garbled,
I
yeah.
would add that I would withdraw any interest as well. I just don't want to make a commitment that I can't live up to.
What is that in regard to?
So if we want to groom somebody to take over the position when you're done, right?
Okay,
You suggested those people should start going to the meeting.
I didn't suggest anything.
Okay.
Okay, but if they want to do that, if they're open meetings, other than when we go into executive
We will
committee.
strike that piece of the minutes and not broach the subject again.
Okay.
All right. That was very decisive, and I think that's a good thing. So we've made some changes that I think we all agree, they all make sense now, right?
We're taking, has expressed a desire to hand over this responsibility. We're taking that off because I'm not there yet.
We'll just
I will be
delete
there.
that whole,
I will be there
that whole
somewhere. Yeah,
section.
and the whole section with Drew,
Yep.
because I don't know what that means.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I guess we could, go ahead,
That's all.
entertain a motion to accept.
And you said your name was spelled wrong somewhere.
Oh, at the bottom of
The
the
end.
second page, Planning Board, Deirdre is spelled D-E-I, not D-I-E.
For goodness sake,
I make a motion that we approve the minutes
as,
as amended.
Amended.
second, please.
Second, the motion.
Okay, so now we'll have a roll call vote. Palm?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Drew, aye.
Lee, aye.
Deirdre, I.
Passed unanimously. Okay, now we're on to the next topic, which is committee assignments of all things. So what are we going to want to say about
Last time
that?
I spoke
Yeah.
to the administrative support for the Community Housing Committee, they told me that everybody is up for reappointment
Okay,
for the committee. Last year, they only got appointed 1 year.
all right.
So I looked up the letter from last year where the committee recommended Lee Hamilton to be the representative from this committee to the CPC.
Okay,
So there's a draft letter in there, it's from John.
yes.
A minute to look over it, because I think that we should send that in. You have to take a motion, a
No,
first and a
right.
second, and
To
and
approve this
vote.
letter.
Yeah.
Now, I looked at it and I thought it was a good letter. What do you, rest of you think? You still need to look at it a little more?
No, not really.
Okay.
I move that we accept the letter as written.
Second?
Okay, now we'll have another roll call. Palm?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, approved, letter is approved unanimously.
I'll send that in, and if it's already been done, then the point is made.
Now we're on old business. The Habitat Project at 1121 Route 28 update.
So they're ready to submit an application to the Select Board for a project eligibility letter to approve the site. That's the update. We
Good.
don't have a date yet from the Board of Selectmen.
Right.
When we do, it would be good if we all put it on our calendar and was there, just so that there's lots of confidence in the project.
All right, okay, it's good, it would be good if we showed up. All of us, if possible. As many of us as can possibly make it. B, old business, Matakees Utilization Project, July 15 workshop. I'm going at 6 PM here in this room. I
tomorrow.
RSVP'd to be, I said I would go in person. I plan to be
Tomorrow at
there.
6, hopefully everybody
Yeah.
can come.
Yeah.
We were supposed to RSVP?
They preferred that you RSVP, but they said, even if you don't RSVP, don't worry about it. We want you to come.
I didn't get to the RSVP.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? It was just like, we want an idea of how many people are coming, so I went ahead and did that. But
Is everybody else in this committee going to be able to attend, do you know?
I don't think so.
I'm planning to go, and they didn't have a click here for RSVP, it was just, they said send an email, so I also sent one, said I'd be there in person, so I plan.
That's what I meant. I sent an email. That's what I meant by RSVP.
I did mention it
I
too.
don't
if they
think
were-
I
John
got
is
an email
going?
directly from them. I only,
From me. You got it from me. Yep. And so what we usually do is if you're the staff person running one of these meetings or surveys or et cetera, we send them out to the other town staff people and ask them to send them on to their committees and boards, just because they have the most up-to-date list. And committee members recognize their email. So, but, yeah, you guys had very strong comments and opinions about the utilization of the property, so I think you should come tomorrow. It's very important. So, I don't know if you remember looking at the survey from the Housing Production Plan. It was a range of opinions. There was no spot that was more popular on the spectrum of housing. There was no one area that there was a definitive, opinion about. It was all, it went from, we want a building moratorium to we want, huge multifamily complexes. And it was every part of that spectrum, from no more housing to tons more housing. There was no blip of popularity or sentiment, strong sentiment. So that's what they're finding with the Muck survey. There's no consensus. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Well, we can't do anything then.
So, right.
We're somewhere in the middle, so why is that's a good thing.
There's not like an abundance of people saying, there's not like a majority of people saying, well, we should be in the middle. It's going from 0 to 100. It's just all over the
I
place.
get what you're
So,
saying. I don't know the best way to put it.
Yeah, there's no
verbally, but I
no
get- I
consensus.
get
It's
exactly
a
what you
huge
mean,
range
yeah.
of
Doesn't
opinions.
surprise me at all. I mean, you can't get two people to decide what to have for dinner, never mind.
Well, some towns are different. Yarmouth is at just, for the last 2 decades that I've been working here, it's always been like.
Yes, not every town is the same.
Yeah,
Because I've been following things that are happening in Falmouth, and that seems to be going quite a bit different there in terms of housing and 40B projects and stuff like that.
There are wait lists for committees and boards.
Yeah.
People wait to be on them. Yeah.
Falmouth, really.
In Falmouth, yeah. Yeah. Here, I think we do as well as our appointments chair does. You know what I mean? Like, we have a low vacancy rate if our appointments chair is active in appointing people.
That's right.
Falmouth's population's a lot bigger too, isn't it? I mean, there's more people there, right?
Is there
Falmouth?
maybe 30,000? How many? We're
It's bigger.
25.
It's
It's bigger, but I don't know if that's a
somewhere
key
between
factor.
25 and 50, because Barnstable's, I know the Barnstable, Falmouth, Yarmouth are the top three.
That's what I thought, yeah.
In that order, Barnstable, the Falmouth, and Yarmouth. In that order?
Barnstable, Falmouth, Yarmouth, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting, though, because Barnstable and Yarmouth are considered, what do you call it? The regions to the regional, the planning and considered close to more urban areas. So that is interesting.
So we have new business, which is the proposed starter home regulations,
So this is very interesting.
or home zone.
Something I
zoning
did not catch, maybe I did, when they did the housing bill. But anyways, the state now allows towns and municipalities, all municipalities, to adopt a starter home zoning district.
Right.
And you have to apply to them for, to get a letter of eligibility before you bring it to like town meeting. And it's as of right, no fewer than 4 units per acre. These homes have to be no larger than 1,850 square feet in size, so they're smaller homes.
1,800.
That's gigantic compared to my home.
I think mine is 12 or something like that. 1,800 doesn't sound small to me.
No.
I looked at a condo.
I think if you
group and-
looked at the houses that have been built in the last 10 years, you would say that these are,
Compared to
well,
that,
they-
They're small, yeah.
they're small.
Yep, they, I think it's, if you have a development that's over 12 units, you have to start to provide 10% affordable. And you can go up to 110% of the area median income.
Interesting concept to
Yeah.
try to fill in that group of people.
And you have to have you have to have some type of mechanism in there that at least 50% of the homes are 3 bedrooms or more. I think that can happen with a simple majority at town meeting. So, I don't know if you want, the comment period is this July 25th. I didn't see anything glaring that I would correct the state on.
So these are the state guidelines.
These are the state guidelines,
They're proposed at this stage.
regulations that go
Regulations.
along with the law that allows towns to have a starter home zoning district. Because typically you cannot zone the size of a home or the number of bedrooms in a home. You can do density, height, setback, like sometimes lot coverage, number of parking spots. But you can't say that the house can only be 1,850 square feet and it must have 3 bedrooms. You can't say that in zoning. So they
Also,
passed
a
a law that
minimum
would allow
of
that.
Certain, a minimum number of homes per acre?
It has to have at least 4 units
Per
per
acre.
acre.
Yeah.
But they did talk about in there that you could do condominiums in a mixed-use
Yeah.
Yeah,
development.
I was going to ask you about that. I got kind of confused when they started talking about mixed use. It sounded good, though.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought that maybe, I haven't had a chance to talk to the town planner about this.
Yeah.
But as we go forward on the mixed-use study, this might be interesting to look at.
And what, you set aside certain parts of the town that would fit
Right,
for this.
only up to 15% of your land mass only.
And what about the 1850 square feet? I mean, it's a great way to keep areas from having too many enormous, huge mansions, but what happens if someone buys into it and then decides to renovate? Are there any restrictions like that they can't add
Don't
2 more
know.
bedrooms?
Oh, that's interesting,
I don't
yeah.
know if that would be
I don't know.
something.
You might
bring
have
up.
to go to you might have to have a provision if you want to do that. You have to go to the zoning board of appeals.
You'd have to probably do that anyway, but that would be interesting to know.
Yeah.
But if you're on a quarter of an acre, how much can you expand?
Well, that's true, that's true.
And you have to have certain space in between your abutters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 10 feet or something? You're supposed to be 10, you're dwelling 10 feet from your abutter? I can't remember.
Yeah, some places it's 20 because of fire code.
Okay.
So I thought,
So someday, that could be an article at a town meeting, in other words,
it
to
could be.
establish it. I see.
I don't think we're ready for that in Yarmouth because we haven't done sewering. I think the only way to plan for that is to do the sewering, and then Yarmouth is going to have a discussion about flow, right? Like how much nitrogen is going to come off into our wastewater treatment system from Route 28, from this area, from that area.
I mean, how much will it be more than the wastewater treatment system can handle?
Well, we went for that 0% financing,
Yeah.
right? So this town is flow neutral. So as people,
Neutral is defined as what?
as you take a point in time when you apply for the money, you say you're not going to use this wastewater money to increase
Flow.
your nitrogen loading, right?
Okay,
Right?
All right.
So it's called flow neutral, but it's really like a cap on your nitrogen load.
okay, thank you.
So if you have this, unbelievably, state-of-the-art wastewater treatment facility, right? You use that money to, you can be flow neutral and grow, right? But most plans are not designed that way. They're basically, they look at the zoning and they kind of, almost like they freeze the zoning. So there's discussions that have to happen. How does Yarmouth maintain its flow neutral status, right?
Interesting, yeah. That's
So
very
we'll
good to
probably have to get
understand.
that under control before we started talking about 4 homes
Hmm.
per acre.
And so this is something that right now, you're supposed to say if you think they should change their regulations on your.
Yeah, I really couldn't find anything, and I don't know if I want to kick the beehive by saying, hey, this will never happen in Yarmouth because of flow neutral, so I just,
And it's certainly not something, you said that you could apply for it without having town meeting approval.
Right.
So, because the planning board is it's a lot of work to put in some changes for zoning. We're working on 2 right now, and
If this committee thought this was a great idea, they would write a memo to the town, to the chair of the planning board and the planner and say, oh, can you put that in the queue? We did that when we changed the calculation for the buyout for on-site affordable housing. So, and that took 12 months. And that was just one paragraph. So this would be a huge thing, but I didn't see anything in there that was like a glaring barrier to this. But I also don't see anything in here that's motivating me to send this up to the town planner and say, let's do this, because of the wastewater situation, so.
Well, frankly, found it hard to get through.
Well, yeah,
We did.
so yeah.
Yeah, like
I
eventually
did
you
skip a
start
lot of
getting-
the definitions. I was like, okay, and got right to them. But we'll see if people start using it. I don't know.
All right, I guess that completes our discussion of that item.
You used an excellent analogy about kicking the bee's nest. That was an excellent book, by the way. The woman who kicked the hornet's nest. If you haven't read it,
Yeah.
read it. It's a great
I
book.
did read it.
It's a trilogy, but it's the middle one.
Shall we move on to reports and actions, ladies and gentlemen? The chair does not have a report, unless you can
I'm trying to think.
fill in for the
Nope.
chair's report.
We didn't do anything rogue in between now and our last meeting, so.
Home Consortium,
So there was no meeting last month. There's one this Thursday, but I did have a couple other things I wanted to mention. I don't know if anybody saw this. This was in the business section of the Boston Globe on June 29th. As federal cuts loom, rental housing vouchers across Mass are being put on hold.
right.
I won't read the whole thing, but it doesn't sound like it's good news. That housing authorities are putting an end to their wait lists, and they don't have the money to pay rent increases. So I thought that was pretty interesting. If anybody wants to take a look at it, I have it.
June, I think I already took that to the dump. I might have clipped it.
I also came across something that happened at Yarmouth Commons. There was an arrest for drugs and guns over there.
I haven't.
Yes. And?
I was in a meeting with the neighborhood crime people, and they said that it's kind of common
I don't,
trouble over there. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not, I'm
Yeah,
just, I
I,
didn't know that. I was just curious. What happened? Does the people get?
So
a
they
ticket?
they don't report that to me.
Okay.
Right. They don't report that to me. Yeah, I did have news that somebody passed away, but I don't know if it would involved a police action.
Yeah, when I was in a meeting with some police, and it came up, and there was eye rolls, and I didn't know that was happening, that kind of stuff. I mean, I get it, that's life, it happens, but it was a little alarming to me.
Yeah, so
Kids in the apartment.
typically what happens is that there's a higher than normal number of calls to the fire department and the police department. They'll come into town hall, and hopefully they find me. They're always welcome to come and find me and talk about it. And also, their boss is my boss, Bob Rittenauer, right? So we have had sit-down meetings with property management companies to say, hey, what's going on? And what are you doing? And are you following the rules?
That's my concern.
Yeah. So we did have a development in town that was not meeting with us. So the police department started to park the emergency response van
Smart.
and charging them by the hour to have a remote police office at the site. And boy, did they take action. So,
That's what I thought, that these larger developments have a property management
They have a
It should be
property,
keeping you informed.
well, they don't, so what they're responsible to follow their own rules, right? And not have an extraordinarily high rate of first responder calls.
Right.
Right? So one thing they need to do is always make sure that the fire and the police department have the correct fobs to get into the building and the correct contact phone numbers. So sometimes staff, changes at these property management companies, and they need to update and make sure everybody has the correct cell phone numbers.
There is high turnover in property management. I mean, it's incredible.
Right.
The turnover.
Right.
Tenant relations is a very difficult
Right.
thing, and it burns people out quickly. And tenants during the day, most tenants are awesome, but during the day and then after hours and weekends, sometimes things take a little bit of a turn. So,
Right. So, because a lot of this stuff is personal and private information, you know what I mean? They don't come in and tell me that stuff, right? But if there's a high number of calls, then they should come in and talk to me, and we sit down and we have a meeting with the property management company. And in the past, if the property management company is not responsive, then we get the owner of the property involved, their boss, right? And then I get my boss involved, and then, but if they do see a high call rate, they should be getting in touch with me. If the property management company is not responsive to them, they should be getting in touch with me. So, but there's a lot of urban myth about multifamily housing too.
I
So,
grew up in it.
yeah.
I managed it.
Right.
I'm very well aware of that.
Yeah.
The thing that got my attention
Yeah.
was, look, crime is everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
But when I saw there was little kids in the apartment, that really alarmed me.
Yeah.
And I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody. It can happen, but it was just like, oh, no.
That's terrible.
So it is terrible.
That's terrible. But yeah, they don't, for better or worse, they don't tell me about these things.
Well, you're not an enforcement.
I'm not in enforcement, and
Officer.
but I do have resources to deal with it.
Who is the property management company?
I don't know if it's Wingate. I don't.
Oh, Wingate, okay.
I'm not certain. The people, it has changed recently,
Are they on site?
and that's why that's why we always like them to have. They do have an office, right? We always require them to have an office, but we can't require them to be there 24/7.
Yeah, no one can, yeah.
Yeah. So we did ask when we provided funding for Yarmouth Commons, we did ask the developer, who was Dakota Partners, to do that, and they said they couldn't commit to that at the time.
Yeah, it's
So-
24 hours, that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
You can't
And
expect that.
the reason being, it was their only property down here. So they had the same management company that managed the 120 units on Independence Drive. And so that office is opened every day, and they would come over here periodically. So if the tenants or somebody needed an application or something like that and needed to go into an office, they could go over to Hyannis and go to that office. That office has multiple people. But
Thank you.
you're welcome. If
Okay.
you go to another crime meeting and there's something to say.
Because It
You-
came up, and I.
Don't roll your eyes, go
I've
talk to
heard-
Mary
I heard it on
Wagon.
the radio, I read it someplace,
Yeah.
and then it came up in a
Yeah.
crime with the police department.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay,
There's so much that they cannot say, right? The police department cannot say. There's so much they can't. They just,
well, I kind of read between the
Yeah.
lines a little bit.
right.
The Yarmouth Housing Authority. I'm a board member of the Yarmouth Housing Authority. And speaking of property management and vouchers, I'll put in a good word for the executive director of our housing authority. She's doing her best to cope with this difficult situation.
I know her, she's awesome.
She is. And not only cope with the situation of less money, but, clients and landlords having a hard time making this work, but also just the day-to-day dealing with problems.
It's not what I thought it is some days.
It's a very difficult job, and she's on the case. So our housing authority is keeping its head above water at the moment in terms of the services it's able to provide. But there is a crisis situation happening with,
So, locally, you can apply to the Community Preservation Committee for rental assistance.
Right, good.
So what we do in Yarmouth is we use that money to help people out of rental arrears. And if they need to find a new place at no fault of their own, like if something is sold or for some reason the lease isn't renewed, we help with first and last for a new place. But Hetch, Howard Ecumenical Council for Housing, they run one of those programs for us. Hands of Hope
Right.
has some money and Hetch has some money.
Right.
And they told me last week that we're the only town that does it that way. Yeah, she says that all the other towns they work with give a small monthly subsidy, and they provide case management services during that time period. So it's something to think about.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So if the housing authority is seeing that, these cuts are impacting their operation of those 40 units, they can apply on behalf of their tenants for rental assistance from the town.
Okay.
Now, that's only 40 units, but that is an eligible use.
Very good.
Keep that in mind.
I will.
In the whole RFP, that's completely on the whole, there wasn't a response to the RFP for the developing of the land, correct?
Nope, but that doesn't mean that we can't reissue an RFP.
That was my question.
And we're going to be, next month, we'll be talking about that at our regularly scheduled meeting. And we'll probably be talking about it with our liaison with the Mass Housing Partnership, who's giving us expert assistance. Her name is Laura.
Yeah.
And we'll decide what we need to do.
Right.
So you think
At
in
that time.
August there'll be a meeting about that?
Yes, it's on the agenda for our August meeting, which is the second Tuesday of the month at 5:15 p.m. at the Long Pond Housing Development. On Long Pond Road, and
Oh, right.
you know where it is? Long Pond, the corner of Long Pond and Winslow Gray. That's where the 40-unit housing authority development is.
Okay. Any word from the governor's office?
I was going to talk about that with the chair, but he's not here. But I did speak on the phone to the assistant. I forget what his title is, but he's in the governor's office, and he's in charge of appointing people to the housing authority. We don't have a governor's appointee to the housing authority board, and we're trying to make that happen. And we're in touch with them, and he got applications in. We have application in for that position, and I guess maybe it's about time for me to call them up again and see where they're at with that. I was waiting till after the 4th of July. But that should be in process, yeah,
Well, it'd be nice to have that appointment made before your August meeting.
yeah. I don't know if it can be or not. But I was assured,
Do we have to go up to the State House?
yeah, maybe.
Who would want to be traveling off Cape?
The application's being shared among all the relevant people in the office, they say, and then they will do their background check, you know. They have a background check. they
Yeah,
have to
no,
do.
I was surprised
Yeah,
that they do
so I
a
don't have any,
query.
we don't have,
A paid position?
No,
no, it's just,
A background check for someone to be a volunteer on a committee?
housing is
Yes.
different. Housing is different.
yeah, like in my case, I was elected to the position, but this is an identical position, but it's appointed by the governor, and there's regulations specified in the law as to exactly what hoops they have to jump through, so I don't have a feel for, but I'll call him again.
If, call him again.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy. He helped
Yeah,
us
he is a nice
through.
guy. I'll
Yeah.
call him again. Okay, now we're on to the next thing, Affordable Housing Trust.
So the Affordable Housing Trust meets tomorrow at 3:00. And did I tell you they did award the money for a developer to purchase 645 Route 28 in West Yarmouth? Maybe not.
I'm not
Is that
sure.
the old Chinese restaurant?
Yes, it's the old
I drove by and saw the sign sold. It said sold on it, right? Okay.
I think the reason why nobody's really noticed how bad the building is like
Trees are covered.
the bushes are now trees in
I
front of
noticed
it.
it because I've known about that Chinese restaurant for like 50 years, and I've seen everything that's happened to it, and I notice it every time I go by.
So it was purchased by Bay Ridge Realty. The owner of Bay Ridge is Dennis Curcado. He's doing quite a bit of work redeveloping places in mostly Barnstable and Yarmouth, at least on Cape Cod. So he's getting quite a portfolio of rentals, and I met him because he needed some lottery services for some of these little developments, right? You have to provide one or two affordable units, so that's how I met him. So he had an idea, the property is on the corner of Appleby Road and 28, and he had an idea to do a Chapter 40B for, I want to say 18 units. But one of the drawings had a 3-story building right on the corner. I said, oops. I called him up and I said, would you think about using our local zoning? And I was like, well, the trust now has money right now for assistance with acquisition. So he applied for the money and has been working with the building commissioner and the town planner to have the development comply with our architectural and site design standards. And it's looking much better. It's looking much, much better. The trust awarded the money, and they bought the property the very last day in June, the very last day of the purchase and sales agreement. So
So how many units are they going to develop?
it's going to be 2 commercial and 11 apartments.
And out of the 11 apartments,
4 will be affordable, and one of the affordable is a 100% accessible unit on the first floor.
Nice.
So you guys will see that because you'll have to sign the application that goes up to the state to ask for these to go on the subsidized housing
They
inventory.
have an idea about what kind of commercial business?
No, if you have any idea, so it's going to have to be something that doesn't need a lot of parking, right? So it won't be like a restaurant, whether,
I don't know.
a bakery cafe with coffee has a different number of parking spots required, but the parking is not big enough for a restaurant. So, we gave him some ideas. It's really close to the new park
Right? Right.
on Route 28. So we gave him some ideas, like, you should start reaching out to people who rent paddle boards and kayaks and
Yeah.
Huh,
kind of stuff.
pretty good thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good thought, anyway.
So, but he didn't seem too worried that he couldn't rent the commercial space.
Yeah.
So 2 commercial units in the front. There's 1 2-bedroom right above the commercial units in the front, which is perfect, because if there's kids, right?
We're looking for kids here on Cape
They're
Cod.
looking for kids. And the rest are, the other 10 units are one bedroom. And we're gonna ask for, the one bedrooms to be the affordable units, because we need that. So, and he can make more money off the two-bedroom. So, yeah, it's gonna look fantastic.
You said you can make more money off the two-bedroom?
So yeah,
Why
but
is
if
he
we
not
did it
making more?
affordable, if we put it affordable, right, there'd definitely have to be children in there. If he keeps it market rate, if we keep it market rate, he could have somebody that just wants two bedrooms.
Why only one unit with two bedrooms? Is that what you were?
Yeah, well, I was.
That's just how he,
Why-
that's
why-
how
why is
he,
not doing more two bedrooms?
he probably feels he can rent the one bedrooms easier.
That makes sense.
You
Yeah,
know.
that makes sense.
I think he has a good feel for the market, because he's got all these units.
Do you have any examples of his properties at the moment that he already has? Would there be any that we're familiar with?
Well, might be 750 North Street in Hyannis. I'd have
I
to
know what you're talking about, yeah.
dig it up. It's a
number
very
like that,
square, it's a very square building. It had been vacant for a while. He grabbed it, he redid it. It looks very different than what he's proposing on Route 28. Like, it doesn't have a peak roof, it's not Cape Cod architecture.
McDonald's?
It's very,
I know the building, okay, I know the building, yeah.
yep, and he redid it. And there's 11 units in there.
North Street area in downtown. Hyannis,
And the
yeah.
Department of Mental Health has an office in the building, and they're gonna rent it out to their clients. And that's how I met him, because one of the units was gonna have to be an affordable. And I was like, okay, how do I deal with that? So we got it so that it, because I said, well, can we have a priority for another group of clients from DMH, right? And finally, the state was like, yeah, Mary, that sounds right. That's what we should do. So, because otherwise, I was gonna have to do a lottery for a two-bedroom, and I was gonna have to put children in there. And I just didn't think that would kind of work out. So,
Well, that sounds great.
yeah, so I think it's gonna be okay. So you will eventually meet Dennis, and we're gonna do a video. Myra, she's not here today, but her idea was to document the redevelopment of the site. And so our communications manager, Lori Sullivan, I got them in touch.
Good idea, yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, so we want to go and take pictures of the existing conditions, so that we can compare
The old restaurant hiding behind the
Oh, it's-
foliage and the underbrush.
that profile of that building. It goes like, yeah. And right on the other side of that is 8 units of housing. That's on Appleby, the other corner of Appleby and Route 28. So it'd be nice. It'll be, on both sides, there'll be some units. So that's the big news for the trust. They are really jazzed about this development. And so over the years, they were awarded $2.6 million for a program called the Buy Down Program, right? And there's $1.1 million of that left. They spent $1.5 million. There's $1.1 million left. So they're going to bring it back to the the Community Preservation Committee in an application form and ask to reprogram that to doing something else, doing a couple of other projects like this on Route 28.
Very good.
Yeah, because I think they're going to get more units, higher quality units. The price of homes right now is historically high. The inventory is historically low. We even put that buy down money out for people who wanted to do a duplex or triplex or, something multifamily, got no bites, there's just no inventory out there. So, with the wastewater going in on Route 28, there's like people interested in redevelopment, so. And it would have to be mixed use. That's what I'm proposing to the trust. Mandatory mixed use, raise and replace. So, they are gonna put out another $500,000 RFP and then go to the CPC to reprogram that 1.1 million. So you see, they could do 4 in total. They would be in line to do 4 addresses in total. And they need to decide whether they're going to just put it out there or say, here's the list of sites we want you to work
How
on.
about the old trading post?
Is that this way?
That's towards the river.
Bass River, yeah.
You know, it's a crummy, falling down building, yeah.
I think, did that have a fire?
I think that's the building, right? There was a leather shop there,
I think so.
because I think he moved
Yeah.
down the street. I remember
Yes,
putting
now
signs.
he's in the mall where the Hearth and Kettle is, and
Oh, okay.
it's called the Trading Post, so there's a derelict building that used to be this business that moved out. I don't think there's been a fire there that I know of, but
I think it was
maybe there
4 or
was.
5 years ago, maybe. Not a
But
major
there's-
fire.
Now it's been,
There's-
so like, you can't even tell it was a fire. It's like,
And just like the restaurant, it's just as much of a derelict building.
Yeah. There's
And
a
it's a
couple of
residential
spots.
area right behind it, just like Appleby Road is a residential area.
Yeah, yes, so it'd be an okay transition, I think. Anyways, that's what the trust is up to.
Okay, Planning Board.
Oh, Planning Board's really pushing to get the local comprehensive plan finished. It's been reviewed by, just this week, by the Cape Cod Commission, and we're frantically trying to get the revisions made. We'll be meeting the day after tomorrow and go through, I think, a final. And we did get a final report on all the mixed-use projects. That was due the 30th of June, and it's done, and it's very interesting reports.
Yeah.
And a lot of reviews of one of the things that they did that was really interesting was the recommended revisions to the special village center zoning districts. And those are the basic things that we've been working on and looking at, and we're meeting this week to go over the details. I don't know if you had any questions about any of those.
Are they overlay districts, or is it amplifying what we already have?
This report was just to review what we already have.
Okay.
And to make recommendations that, like, for example, why have 4 overlay districts? Why not reduce it and combine them into one? Because they're also similar. But the zoning changes that we're actually working on to get approved by the select board to bring it up to town meeting have to do with the home sales of seafood and the storage of boats. And they're just fairly simple changes that we're recommending, we think. We haven't actually reached a point of voting on it or getting them approved by the select board to have the ability to sell seafood, all other health permits and all those things being in place, similar to agricultural sales from your home. That would be allowed on very limited basis in residential neighborhoods. And the boat storage would allow you to have one boat in a driveway in front of your house. I think it's just in season. Anyway, we're going to be discussing that all this week. And it's kind of a lot to get them through the process of getting the suggestions. Now we'll have to take it to the select board and hopefully get it on the town meeting agenda in November. And I think is that,
Yeah, so right, so you have a draft of the LCP, it was reviewed by the Cape Cod Commission.
yeah.
So you're meeting this week to go over their comments. And then it will be open
Yes.
to public
Yes,
comment.
there'll be- That's right. There will be public comment and select board approval, and then, I forget the exact process, but
So that will be an opportunity for this committee to look at it and make comments on it.
And like one of the things in the comprehensive plan is a lot of description of projects that are in process. So I guess I should tell them to add this new one that you just told us about to the projects that are upcoming and in
Okay.
process and stuff. Is that okay? So-
Yeah. So that's the 6:45?
5, right.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. And then I'll put in a note that the trust is most likely going to be issuing RFPs to hopefully guide similar or similarly guide projects. And there is a little bit of money that was set aside. So that report, that mixed-use report was done with a community planning grant from the state,
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
right?
Right.
And so the Affordable Housing Trust put aside money for a local match. And so the money from the state expired June 30th of this year. But the money from the trust doesn't expire. So if there's more work, and I keep reminding the town planner of that, if there's more work, like, so they did illustrative examples, right? Of theoretical lots on Route 28. But we have money to actually pick a lot and actually do work on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't forget that. Everybody's busy, but we do have money to take the next step. But you have to be careful, because you can't design too much stuff, or else you trigger prevailing wages. I don't know if you ever worked on that, but, yeah. But, yeah, you guys are busy.
Yeah,
That is super busy.
Preservation Committee, want to make any comments? That's next on the agenda. It's a-
Should have looked at my
it's the
notes.
it's the low
We
time.
met the week before, and we talked about our schedule going forward for the next round of RFPs. And I forget the deadline, I think is September.
Early September,
September
yeah.
5th.
5th, yep.
And then we start, once folks come in and they get reviewed, then we start meeting regularly and review them, and people come in and blah, blah, blah. That's a real professional report, right?
Are you doing a
Blah, blah,
public,
blah part.
are you doing a public, an annual meeting this year?
That wasn't discussed,
No,
that
it
I can
wasn't.
remember.
Yeah.
That wasn't discussed.
It was not. There
We have a
definitely
new chair
wasn't.
of the committee,
Judith?
yeah.
Chinsky.
And we have, I think, at-large opening. Is that correct? I think we have one at-large opening. There was some communication, they heard from the state, and Dawn responded. It's regarding our annual fee that we pay to the Community Preservation Committee, state funding. And I thought I had that on me. And she gave them, I guess I only printed out one page. Oh, it's double-sided. It came from the Communications Director of the Community Preservation Coalition, that we have an annual fee due. I didn't know that we paid a fee. And she gave them a little update about the changes we've had, and we have a new chair, as Gary Ellis died. And I think retirements, Vice Chair Christine Migliano stepped down, and Karen Green is part-time. has moved on and is part-time, and we have an additional at-large member. We're working to find an
Okay.
additional at-large member.
Oh, that's right, because Gary was at large.
Yes.
Gary Ellis.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we went to executive committee, which of course I'm not going to talk about.
Good.
You
So
had
there
you had
is,
to say that, though.
so there is a state
But there was
statute.
executive committee.
It is part of the state statute that you have to hold a public hearing once a year.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
And Yarmouth has done that every year. They have done it every year.
Never failed to
Not every
comply
town
with
has done that.
statute.
I can find it for you and send it to you. You just don't want to,
Miss it.
yeah. So in Mashpee, it took me like 7 years to have them hold a public hearing. I'm like, here's the
Remember
law.
that being mentioned, maybe it was and it escaped me, but I don't remember that
Right.
being mentioned.
It's something that
But I
escaped me,
remember
too.
last year, we did hold a meeting when we were opening up,
Yeah.
but the application already has a
My
deadline.
instinct is Dawn Marie Flett would be on top of that.
Yeah, Don Marie.
Well, you can it can be simply at one of your meetings.
Yeah, maybe
right? It could
that's
be,
it.
as long as I think you have to advertise it in the newspaper, and there's a little bit more than just a regular meeting. It's a public hearing, right?
Well, as a
But the
newbie there
CPC used to
myself,
have them at sites that they had funded.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and remember they had food and they had guest speakers.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I remember, I think last year we did have a public hearing,
You had a public hearing, yeah.
And,
And I think you had it here.
yes.
I think you had it here. But yeah, they used to have food and stuff. And, because I remember, because I used to help.
Those were the days.
I used to pick up the food and the beverages and help set up the
It
room.
was fun back in
But
those
that's a good
days.
question for
remember
Don
when
Marie,
life was
because I
fun.
don't remember that being mentioned at all.
A long time ago.
Right. And I think you held yours last year. It might, usually you hold it during your application period, so that
The
people,
applications are due September 5th, so.
but you don't have to, but usually you do, just so that applicants can come and ask questions. And-
Yeah, and that's how I remember it went last year. So that's a
So-
good question.
Yeah. But-
Well, we're on the last item now.
Yep, I have no update for community development.
Well, Palm, do you want to make any comments from the Zoom land?
No comments.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're more than welcome.
So are we good meeting in August 11th? 3
We're going to
PM?
agree to meet on August 11th at 3 PM. And then September 8th you have here, too, as a
Yeah.
preview of that fact. And you put in October here, too.
October, I don't know whether you want to do the 6th or the 20th, because October 13th is a holiday.
I don't know.
Do we have to decide that today?
Nope.
No, we don't. And why would we, you have it 2 o'clock on October 6th. Why
Oh,
would-
it should be 3. Sorry.
You've got 2 o'clock in your head for some reason.
No, that was a typo. Yeah, that's, if we, oh, you know why? It is 2 PM. It would be 2 PM, because the Board of Health starts at 5.
Okay. So there's a reason why that was rolling around in your mind, yeah. I get it.
Good
Okay,
logic, bad memory.
yeah.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second the motion.
Palm, on the motion to
Aye.
adjourn?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye, Palm.
Aye.
Adjourned.